Jum.
Hey everybody, Jummington, back with more Jumcraft action. I'm here in these ice spikes. I finally ran out, took my wonderful horse here, finally actually rode a horse. I've had them sitting there forever, and about the only interaction I've had with these guys, probably since I brought them back, was to go make sure they were still tied to a fence by the lead, because they would break anytime I wandered too far away. But I finally got a chance to, actually use these guys. I got plenty of armor, tons and tons of saddles. But I came out to these ice spikes because I was thinking I might need some of this hacked ice. Works just like regular ice, but it won't melt due to light, and I've got some stuff I'm working on. I think I'm going to need some of this. And I had never even seen pictures of this before. I had no idea these things were so huge. Look at that one over there. It's gigantic. It's crazy. And I just broke one of them. I'm like, I'll just break one of them down and see what I get. And I've got 3 stacks, another 8. Got a lot of stuff out of that one, so there's plenty more around here. So I built a portal so I don't have to walk it back, because it's quite a ways away from my house. A couple thousand blocks away. So now I want to head back to the spider collider and see what's going on with that. 1.8 changed a lot that has to do with that, so I have no idea how this is going to work. I've never tried to take a horse through the nether. I think this will take him through the lead. I can't ride him through. White bread, that is his name. Let's see what we get. Alright, you go first. Nope. There we go. Yeah, this will probably be easier if I just... Damn it! Don't push me off. Oh, man. No. I'm coming, bud. Ah! Oh God! Why? Look at that white bread. Show yourself. Oh. Man, you took that right in the face. Oh man. You sir are a champion. Wow. We did it. Yeah. Well done, Wonder Bread. And deal with the losers. It's like the first and last time I use a horse. Alright, here we are back again at the spider collider. And, some graphics. 1.8 has a lot of that, I've noticed. So, it's been such a long time, I don't remember what you've seen and what you haven't seen. This is the basic layout of it. I like this pattern, I like all this. I think I had this last time, maybe I had something different in the middle of this. Oh yeah, I took it out of there. Put it on this side, so I can access all of the inner workings. This still works really well for what it does. The timing is off on it now. 1.8 they changed some stuff, and I don't know if I'm just not getting as many spiders now. They did change one thing with the spawners, that the area they spawn on is no longer centered on a corner of the block. It is now centered on the center of the block, which means that your spawnable area is no longer 8 by 8. It's actually 9 by 9. And I mentioned this to my buddy Gorley, and he said, well, I was already building all my spawn traps 9x9 anyway, so I wouldn't have to deal with figuring out, you know, which corner was which. And he said that, and I thought about it, like, yeah, there's really not much of a reason to not do that. So now I kind of feel like an idiot for always making spawn traps 8x8, because really, if you have a bigger area, you know, it's water, so nothing else is going to spawn in there. Like, there's no spawnable area except for what the spawner creates, if you get me. So it doesn't hurt anything to have extra space. And I think because of that, sometimes if it decides it wants to spawn in that 9th block, which would be one of these walls, it just won't spawn a spider. I don't know for sure. But I think that might be reducing the number of spawns I get. I don't really want to add another side on these, because I think it would, for one, it would move these uncomfortably close to other areas. And the water flow is already tricky enough with these stupid a-holes, so I don't want to mess with that. So it still works okay for generating experience. I only get about 20 or so levels on it, but there's so many ways to get experience. In 1.8, you get it from trading, you get it from breeding animals, smelting blocks, fishing, and, you know, it adds so much, and they also changed the enchanting so that, you know, I've got 37 levels now. If I go and want to enchant something, let's just go here. If I want to enchant something, I only need the 30 levels to unlock the level 30 enchant. But it only cost me 3 levels to actually make that enchant, and 3 lapis lazuli. So it only cost me 3 enchantment levels. So, you know, at 37, I can make 2 level 30 enchants. So your experience, you know, will tend to stay high a lot longer. So these kind of experience farms, really not as useful now, because there's so many ways I can get experience normally without having to sit here and wait on this. And there's actually a couple AFK experience farms that work fairly well, so aside from generating string out of this, I don't know how much I'll actually use this now. It's kind of depressing. I'm still really proud of it. I learned a lot about the redstone, different redstone techniques while I was working on that, and water and all this. So, you know, it's not like wasted time. I had a lot of fun making it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Even if I never use it, it just looks really cool. I also added these doors. These actually go all the way up to the surface. And the reason I put those in, I had an idea, and actually looks pretty cool. I wish it was raining right now so I could show you. But when it thunderstorms outside, you can actually see the lightning down here. Yes! I still don't know what to do with this area at all. You know, I don't want to just wall this over because I put that window there. I might wall this back up to here. I thought I might put a little nature area here, like an employee break area with some grass, maybe a tree. Nice quiet stream where all the garbage gets thrown into the lava stream there. And there's a zombie villager holding an egg. And he has been out there forever. Just forever. So last time I was working on this, and you can see it is pretty much done. I had a video where I tried to show the rest of the construction, and the circuit got a little bit more complicated, and I just couldn't keep it together. I kept having to stop and go back and refer to my notes and go back and look at the design, because I had actually built it and tore it down so I could record building it, and it was just a mess. So to hell with it. So let's take this stuff out. Very briefly show you some of the features of this. It looks significantly different down here now. Take that down, so there's just a 1 gunpowder in there. And just give this a quick run. You can see it in action. And, yeah. So some note blocks added in there that indicate that it has started. I've got these lights indicated that it's running. I added a circuit in so that when it's running, it'll do that when you hit it and it doesn't reactivate the circuit. So that way once you start it, you can't hit it again and screw the timer up and break things. It also will lock that button if I am out of any of these ingredients. And that's what's happened here. These lights indicate the presence of these ingredients, and so now I'm out of gunpowder, so it indicates that it's out and it's locked that. It'll still run through, you know, now I've asked it to make it. It'll still make these potions because I still had that one left. But after this is complete, it will be locked. So that's some cool stuff. Now you can't really see the inventory from here unless you fill it up so much that you can see what's going on in here. There's no sorting, so it's entirely possible to put the wrong ingredient in any box. But that would increase the size of this more than it already is. And it's a pretty big ass circuit in there, so I really didn't want to try and mess with it anymore. I may do something else like that in the future when I build like a more complete potion room, because this is really... Oh, that tone indicates it's done. Should be seen up here in a second. And there we go. I am no musician, so forgive me if that just sounded awful. So yeah, so it's locked out. It's empty there. Put those back in, and it fires back up. So I love the look of this though. I'm really happy with it. One mistake I made that I had to clear up with more light sources in the ceiling here was I went around with F3. You hit F3 and you can see the light level there. And I just walked around and tested the light level and saw where stuff might spawn to make sure I had enough light. Because visually I'm not real great with that. Maybe F3 is kind of cheaty. I say that a lot. But it's there. It's a good tool to use. So I did that. I'm like, oh, it's great. Everything's lit up. I failed to take into account the light generated by these. And when I was testing the circuit, I had most of these, I think all of these off. And I walked away and I didn't even think about the effect that would have on the lighting. And so a zombie was able to spawn in here. And that's not really such a big deal, but if it was a creeper or something, it would have blown this up. That's right, dramatic music. It would have been bad. So yeah, I've got, you know, inventory control. I've got, you know, anti-double press circuit going on in there. Indicator lights, some tone blocks. I've got a little fill station here. And basically, you know, you just put a stack of empty bottles in here and fill your inventory with, you know, whatever blocks you got, so that you can't pick any of them up, and it just drops them straight in this hopper, goes in the chest. Real easy and convenient. Some weird frame rate starters. I'm pretty sure it's fraps. I haven't recorded in a while. I don't know if something's busted and needs to be reinstalled or what. So this is the inventory management here. And the potion bottle one is a little bit different from the rest of them. I'll explain why in a second. But basically, that right there is the dropper. That's the line of droppers. This one is the nether wart one. And it's being read by a comparator. And the other side of this block is a redstone torch. And it's being kept off. And as long as there's inventory in the dropper, it will keep that light lit. Keep this turned off. As soon as the inventory runs out, turns the light off, activates the sticky piston with a redstone block on it. And that powers this line down there, the green line, which is the inventory shut-off control. And I had to use glowstone. If you recall, glowstone won't transmit power to the block below it when it's powered. And that's a hopper under it. That's the hopper chain that feeds up to the dropper tower that feeds them back up. So I didn't want it to turn off and get the potions stuck down in there. Now the water bottle is a little bit different because, you know, this is where everything else is reading it, but it's kind of pointless to read the inventory in this chest because there's 1, 2, 3 droppers that also have water bottles in them. So if this runs out and it tells you it's out, you actually have 15 more bottles, which is 5 more operations. And so what it is, I feed from the second to last one. And it still means I have some overlay, but it's just less. If this ever drops below, I've got too many water bottles in here now to show it without a real headache, but you have to take my word for it. If this drops below 3 water bottles, then it will activate through that chain. And all I've got is the signal from that's being compared via comparators here to the signal from this furnace, and I just trial and error toss blocks in there. I don't know why I used a furnace. I think it was just convenient, because if I used a chest, I wouldn't be able to put a solid block over it, and etc. So this works. It works well, and that of course will feed in, and if this gets below, you know how comparators work. So that's the inventory control. This purple line going up here, that controls the indicator lights, the running lights. And it's just a simple clock up there feeding into some blocks. Let's get up there. I don't know if you really want to see this, but I will show it to you if I can navigate. This frame rate jitter is getting really annoying, because it'll be fine, like 120, 120, and it just like spikes down for a second. I don't know if it's the game or what. I haven't noticed it until I started recording. So yeah, this just feeds into the simple repeater-based clock. I'm sure there's better ones, but I know this one that works for me. Powers into that. It's the roof. And I just put these on, different delays. If I had to do more than 4, it would get a little touchier. More than 5. Because, 5 has no delay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Beyond that, it would be like, okay, well, I gotta figure out how to jam more in there. So 5 worked well. Symmetry. This is the note block that lets you know I'm broke. And that is this, I think this is blue stained clay. That's the blue line here. And that is powered by the inventory control. It's been so long I can't remember how all this works precisely. Oh yeah, here we go. Down here. Redstone lamp, and that's being powered off of the timer, so if the timer is active, if it's running through, that will feed into this. It just has a delay on it that keeps it active long enough to match the button. So that the button is on for a certain number of ticks, which I've matched up here. So if I didn't have these, if I just had one repeater, it would actually lock it on instead of locking it in the off state. So that just locks this off so that you press the button and it only travels to the note block there. It can't carry back into the main circuit and switch things on and off. And this is repeater locked as well. So this is a redstone torch down there. That won't turn off unless when the button is pressed or the inventory management. So you don't hear this unless it's locked. So yeah, this could probably be more compact, but I'm satisfied with it. I don't need this space for anything else. I think that is it. I think that's the extent of the extra stuff I added beyond what I talked about last time. Color coding this stuff, really, really handy, because it's been a long time since I worked on this, and I can still, look at it and very clearly see where each of the circuits are and what things are doing. And it's really not hard to trace back, where stuff is. A lot of trickiness with timing, moving signal up and down, but I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with how it all turned out. I don't think, even with the changes that have made this kind of unneeded for my purposes, I still am really happy with it. I had a lot of fun making this. I think it looks great. I still come back here all the time because I've got a little grow area down there for growing ingredients, but this is where I've got furnaces and stuff. Some extra block storage. So yeah, I can grow nether wart and sugar cane to get the sugar, and or reeds. What do they call this now? It is sugar cane. Oh, I don't need you right now. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick this crap up. Because even if I don't use it for those potions, I can still make my potions of fire resistance that make the nether less hellish to get through. And I do a lot of traveling back and forth that way. And then I got a little dirt spot here. I can grow giant mushrooms or trees. That's most of what I use it for now. Because if I run out of woods, I just quick grow some trees down here. So yeah, just random junk in there. Yeah, I get some trees that can grow. Pretty cool. I like it. I'm happy with this. I know the stone brick is kind of bland and blah. I'm no interior decorator. I use what I've got, and I have a lot of it. And it's easy to get. And I think it looks good in this area, but, you know, if I go to build something else and I'm just like, you know, I got stone brick, it'd be a little embarrassing, I guess. Too much. Then we got the item collection. I think this was all done last time. Lots of string, which I can sell now, and I have been. Come back and grab more of that and sell it off. So I've been working on an addition to this that is totally AFK. And if you recall, I've got these spider spawners back here. Regular spider spawners. Let me present to you what is possibly the worst farm idea, I think, maybe ever. I've got these two spider spawners here, and they're a pretty good location. You may remember them from when I first came through this abandoned mine shaft, and I kind of left them alone. And actually, there's a third one this way. It's a cave spider spawner, which they wouldn't work with this farm. It's a ridiculous idea anyway, so I just left them out. But I have another idea, and this is something I put together back in when it was still 1.7. There really wasn't much to do with string besides making wool, and then you gotta craft it into wool blocks and hoof it back through the nether, back to the villagers, and then haggle with those guys. And, you know, sometimes they won't give you a good price, and you gotta put their feet to the fire a little bit, then they get the cops involved, and that's a whole hassle. So I had an idea, and it's not real high yield. I just thought it was interesting, but it's really goofy. Wait for this guy to die, and I'll crack this open here. And all I've got going on, you can probably already guess, it's pretty simplistic. Because all I've got is this river of hoppers here, and a spider spawns in, and they're 2x2 squares, so they land on the pressure plates and get themselves crushed. Now, usually they'll hit 2, so they'll get smashed in. I had to add this because occasionally a spider would spawn in and trigger the crushing block, trigger the piston. It wouldn't actually get crushed, it would just kind of get shifted around a little bit. Somehow it would just sit there and it would break the whole thing. So I had to add these inner ones, and it's just, you know, stupid. Like, it's simple but overcomplicated at the same time. You're only using up one of the 3 available spawning layers around the spawner, and even that, it's only like a fraction of it. So I've never seen more than one spider off of one of these spawners at a time, because they can spawn like 1 to 4 spiders. So it's really ineffective. This produces with both of these, and I did the first one, kind of played around with it and tested it, and I wanted to see if that would improve things anymore. And you know, again, it was like I really didn't have a lot of use for strings, so I just screw around. But this is pretty dumb. There's so many resources, so much iron involved in this. It's ridiculous. And I did some testing and left it running for a while. On average, both of these will produce like 260 string per hour. Which, if that sounds low, it should. It's not like a real high yield, and it just feeds back in through a river down here, back to the main collection area off of the spider collider, and goes in that same pool. And I'm just gonna shut this off for right now. Here. Because I want to tear this all down, and when you're dealing with hoppers, you know, if I start breaking blocks around it, they're all going to get sucked in the hopper and just sent out that way. And pretty much anything that goes into that collection point that is not string or spider eyes just gets thrown into lava, so I don't want to lose all this stuff and waste it. So I'm gonna rip all of this down, and I've got another idea. Now that 1.8 is out and I can sell string itself between 17 and 19, I've got 2 guys back at the main base that'll buy string for 17 or 18 string for an emerald. And so I want to ramp up the string production. So I have an idea, and I think I can use all 3 of these. And basically I'm just going to jam them into cactuses and kill them that way. I call it the Saguarinator. Saguarinator? Yes, Saguarinator. You know, like Saguaro cactus. Get it. Saguarination chamber. That's a better one. Saguarination chamber. Whoa! Yeah, it does happen occasionally. You get a spider jockey in there and the skeleton's head is stuffed in the ceiling and he suffocates. I actually tried to make this 2 layers too by replacing this upper level with more hoppers, so it was like a 2nd level. But then when skeletons would spawn on there on top of spiders, their head would be in the hopper and they wouldn't suffocate, they wouldn't move, and they would just break the whole thing again. So really ineffective. You know, sometimes you get an idea and you know it's ridiculous and crazy, but it's still like, you want to see it through, you want to check it out, and this just really did not pan out at all. So yeah, let's not talk about this again. This is AFK Fish Farm, not my design. I'll put a link in the description to the video I used. It's kind of an old design now. I think one of the Zip crowd put one of these together, but they used an iron door. This uses an iron trapdoor. Works really well. And best thing about it is if you use it for a while, you'll start catching enchanted fishing rods. So it'll actually, it's like it levels itself up. And you get a lot of cool stuff fishing. Tripwire hooks, name tags, some enchanted books, enchanted bows, saddles. I have so many damn saddles. Fish, which you can sell. So it's a good way to pass the time. If you need to go AFK somewhere, I would recommend building this. Just to, you know, unless your AFK farm involves something else. You know, you just sit this all night collecting fish. Just increase your gains. If you're going to do something AFK, try and cram as much AFK garbage in there as possible so that you get the most out of your, you know, sleep time. Let's get in there. Let's check this thing out. Make sure to pick up the water. I want to try and fight the currents in here. It's a little crazy. Real simple. Water pushes them into cactus. Cactus kills them. There you go. Cactuses are 4 tall. So if you're going to build this, all you really have to do is plant the cactuses. And you can wait for them to grow up to 3 tall. And you can come down here and harvest cactuses from here. If you've got a cactus farm, you can come in and finish it off. Finishing it off, you might find it easier to just go up in the roof and knock out the block above the cactuses and just drop the cactus down. That's what I did. It worked fairly well. And that way I could have it on and running while I was waiting. Because they'll climb up there. There's really nowhere else for them to go. You might lose some string because behind the cactus is like a little channel. And there's a half slab back there just to prevent anything else from spawning once the lights are out. Because if you just have a spawnable space there, anything can pop in. And you don't want that. It won't really matter so much in this, because they'll just walk into the cactus and die eventually, but why take that chance? A little bit wonky to get through So I had to leave this gap, but it works fine here because the spiders are too wide, so they can't really get in there. A skeleton that spawns on a spider jockey might be able to slip in there, but I mean, the water's pushing him, so it's going to hit the cactuses. I haven't had anything stuck in here. Cave spiders over there, same thing. They can get through this, but it's more likely they're going to get shoved over into this corner. I get really good gains out of this. If you remember, I said I got like average of 250, 260 string per hour over my last embarrassing design. This gets 750 string per hour. 750 string on average. And if you average the price to like 17, 18 string per emerald, that's like 40 plus emeralds per hour. That's more money than I make in real life. So I am now rich beyond my wildest dreams in Minecraft. Well, that's all the time I got for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time for another exciting episode of Jumcraft.